afraid to work out? Yeah. It's hard as coaches to sit still for a while. So kudos to you for A, coming, and B, just sitting for a little bit. I know that's really challenging. And I've had a couple questions so far. What workout are we doing, Julie? Even Carl said, what workout are we doing? And I said, whatever I want. So that's my answer, and that's what we're going to do, and you're going to be up for it, right? Yeah. No dancing. Sorry, country beat people, that's not happening. So, can I tell you a little story for a little bit before we work out? Is that okay? Can we go on a journey for just a few minutes? It's really hard to follow Carl. Brooke asked me a couple of months ago if I would come to me, like, yeah, and then she goes, oh, and Carl's coming. I'm like, oh. That's so hard. And he came in, I'm like, dude, I follow you. That is so hard to do because he's so amazing, you know. And I just put on my Instagram and I'm like, I wish I had a more inspiring and amazing CEO, said no beachbody coach ever, because holy cow, can you not just feel, don't you just want to be a part of that mission? It's been like that for 8.5 years, ever since I first heard him speak. But I want to take you back a little bit further than that, if you're good with that. About 15 or 16 years ago, we had moved. My husband is the head football coach at Butler University. So if you have any football fans in here, that's the life that I live and breathe. One of my, Danielle Matoni, who's my success partner, goes, do you watch Friday Night Lights? I'm like, dude, I live Friday Night Lights. I don't watch that. But we move a lot with coaching, and we had found ourselves in Waukesha, Wisconsin. And my husband had his first head coaching job. We had joined the YMCA there. And it had been a pretty stressful year for us. Getting your first head coaching job is challenging and stressful for him. He's not home a lot. Was home even less with that. Our oldest daughter was going into kindergarten. Our middle daughter was going into preschool, and I just had a baby. I was in a brand new town where I knew no one, in a brand new house, and my father had just passed away, and then our dog died. It was a hard year. I joined the YMCA, and I thought to myself, if I can just get up every day and get to that 9:15, 9:30 class and do whatever it was, step, or whatever we were doing that morning, if I could do that, probably everything else in my day would fall into place. I could just get up and do that. And I wasn't really making the connection as strongly as I do now, but what was happening was the clarity that comes from working out was helping me get through the rest of my day. I couldn't articulate it at the time, I just knew I felt better. And if I could just get up and do that, the rest of the day would kind of figure itself out. So we joined the Y when we moved there, and a couple months into just getting up and taking classes every day, I was sitting on a blue bench in the lobby of the YMCA. I remember it really clearly. It was Beachbody blue. And the group exercise director sat down next to me and she said, you know, I've seen you in class and I think you should be teaching. I'd like you to start next month. Just like that. 3 sentences. I'm pretty sure she did not anguish over how she should invite me to teach, pull her hair out over the exact wording, or hesitate before pressing send, or any of that. She sat down next to me on a blue bench and said, I've seen you in class. I think you should start teaching, and I think you should start next month. That conversation changed the course of my life. That one conversation. I am betting that all of you have had a conversation that changed the course of your life too, and chances are that conversation is what has you in this room here today. Yes or no?
Yes.
Someone had a conversation with you, and that's why you're here. Think about that moving forward. Are there conversations that you've had that have impacted someone else's life? Are there conversations that you haven't had that could? Because if Mary had not sat down next to me on that blue bench in the YMCA that day and had that 3-sentence conversation with me, I would not be here today. 3 sentences. I'm sure that if I would have said no, she would not have run out of the Y screaming, saying she was a horrible group exercise instructor and she needed to stop doing it. No happens. But I said yes. And I started teaching, 1 class, 2 class, 3 classes. Went to a fitness conference, met Shalene Johnson, found Turtle Kick. It's like the heavens opened up. Became a master trainer, and somewhere along the line there, became a Beachbody coach. 1 conversation of 3 sentences did that for me. What did it for you? Because if you had a conversation with someone and it brought you here today and it's changed your life, do you feel a responsibility to do that for someone else? Because if she hadn't had that with me, I wouldn't be here. If someone hadn't had it with you, you might not be here. Those are conversations that we cannot keep to ourselves. And sometimes we don't even know how important they are when they're happening. I didn't know. I just was going to teach some classes at the Y. I still think of myself that way. Just a fitness instructor at the Y. I'm a football coach's wife. I'm a mom to 3 daughters. Those conversations are life-changing. We cannot keep them to ourselves. When you're thinking about not inviting someone, as Carl said, invite is a little long, feels weird. Instead, replace that in your head with have a conversation. I want to have conversations with people because it might just change someone's life. So we started to grow a team in Indiana, as you all are doing here, and we got to a place where we had hit a plateau, as it happens. And I kept thinking, why are we sitting at this rank for a year and a half? Why am I still a 9-star diamond? Why am I still this? Why are we at this plateau? So I reached out to someone who's become a really good mentor of mine, Jeff Hill, and I said, I'm stuck. Would you mind having some conversations with me? Help me try to figure this out. If you don't have a mentor or success partner, you need one. He said yes, and I had to give him permission to ask me tough questions, and I had to get okay with sometimes I did not know the answers, and if I did, I probably didn't like them. I had to get okay with crying sometimes on our conversations, which is weird to cry in front of the senior vice president, and sometimes I had to do that, and I had to say it was okay for him to ask me those questions because that was the only way that I was going to change. If it didn't challenge me, it wasn't going to change, and it didn't take too long into our conversations for me to figure out the reason why we were stuck was because I was stuck. And I was the reason. Because we are the lid on our leadership. And if my team was going to grow, guess who needed to do the growing first? Me. I had to be the one to change. And it was probably going to be uncomfortable. But that was the only way anything was going to happen. It's kind of like when we're doing a program and push-ups are uncomfortable. How do we get better at doing them? Doing them. It's just the way it works. So I had to have conversations now with myself. And I had to dig in. I had to do the uncomfortable work that happens on the inside. And let me tell you, our before and after pictures that we see in Beachbody, and that it was so cool to see some of those up here before, those before and after pictures are amazing. But they are nothing compared to what happens in here. And unfortunately, that doesn't make a very good picture. Those make cool pictures, but that's not the most important transformation that ever happens. Ever. We're a health and fitness company, and it starts with pressing play and drinking a shake. But it's so much more than that. When I started to figure out that the reason why we weren't going anywhere was because of me, and I had to do the work, I had to get to work. And I got back to the business of working on me. About that time, thankfully, I got a call from Beachbody Corporate and said, we've got this program coming out and we'd like you to be in the coach test program for it. I said, okay. Now, up to this point, I've been teaching. I've been master training. And I hadn't been doing one of our programs. I teach them. I train them. I don't even do them at home. At the same time, my husband's doing them. I'm not doing them because I teach them and I train them. And part of that journey of figuring out what was keeping me back and holding me still was figuring out that I needed to be doing a program every day because we're a health and fitness company. Not everyone wants to teach classes and not everyone wants to be a master trainer. We're helping the person who lives next door to us down the street who doesn't want to do any of that and just needs fitness in their life. And I was a coach a few years before I figured that out. So if you are a coach now and you've already figured it out, you're way ahead of where I was. Kudos to you. So I figured out I needed to be pressing play on a program, and I thought, all right, I'm going to try PIO. I already teach it, I train in it, I can do it without affecting my classes too much. PIO was the very first program I completed day 1 to day 60. Changed my life because I did that. And I thought, all right, we're making some progress here. So I got that call from corporate and said, we want you to be part of the Coach Test program. This new program that we've got coming out. Do you want to be a part of it? I said yes before I knew what it was. And then I said, what is it? And they said, Insanity Max 30. Well, okay, here we go. And if I thought my conversations with Jeff Hill were hard,
Oh man.
didn't know until I tried to do a burpee lunge in my basement with Sean in my face. Talk about life change. That happened then. Every day, pressing play at 5:30 a.m. Proving to myself that yes, I actually can do this and teach my classes and be a master trainer and go about the rest of my day. Yes, I actually am stronger than I think that I am, and I actually can do a burpee lunge with some practice. And I don't hate Sean every day that I'm doing it. And he would look in the screen and he would say, tell me you can do it. And I would say, yes, I can. And I wasn't just talking about the burpee lunge. There was a transformation taking place in those 60 days that would not have happened if I wasn't pressing play every single day. That's how powerful what we have is. That's how powerful it is. It starts with going down in the basement and pressing play, but what happens from that? Powerful beyond measure. So much more powerful than a before and after picture that's physical. So much more powerful than losing weight. It's about what we find. And I figured out I was stronger than what I thought I was. And when I took that feeling that I got from pressing play in my basement every day and really started to internalize it and then walked up the stairs to my basement and it was just in me and I started to share it, you know what happened? So did my team. And as I got better and I grew, so did my team. And we went from being a 9-star to a 15-star diamond team. It's nothing to do with my rank. And that's part of the growth too. April 15th, the 15th week of the year, in the year 2015 is when we hit it. 7 years into coaching. Don't ever let anyone tell you that you're moving too slowly. If you are moving forward and you have progress, you are moving. Every single step in my journey was a step that was supposed to happen. We hit 15-star diamond. We became a 15-star diamond team. We haven't lost it since. I'll take that every day, all day long. It was something quick. Every day. That is solid. And we are lifers. And that comes from growth. And where did it start? So where does it start? We have a few activities that have to happen every single day. They're not easy, but they are simple. I'm telling you them from experience because as I've shared with you, I wasn't always an advocate of them, which is kind of like that person who stopped smoking and now every time someone starts, they're a super advocate of don't ever do that. So I'm a super advocate of you have to be pressing play on a program. Why? Because I wasn't and I did and it changed my life. So now I've got to tell you from experience, you have to be pressing play on a program. You have to be pressing play on a program and you need to be following a calendar. And it was so funny when Carl was up here going, so I'm going to commit to 3 times a week. I wanted to go, you got to be following a calendar, dude. Come on. Quarter course is 6 days a week. What's 3 times a week? You got to be following a calendar. The very discipline that it takes to walk downstairs to your basement or walk out to your garage or wherever you go to work out and press play every day and follow that calendar, even when you don't really like. Who likes in Sandy Maxardi's sweat intervals? It's 10 times harder than Friday Fight. I hate that workout. Doesn't matter. Press play. And the very discipline that happens by pressing play on those workouts that you don't like, that transfers into your business. It's not just fitness, my friends, as Sean told me over and over in that workout. It's not just fitness, it's your life. If you change your business, you will change your life. If you change your life, you will change your business. Personal and professional development are a circle. They do not happen mutually exclusive of each other. You cannot change your business if you are not changing your life. That's where it starts. And for us, a lot of it starts with fitness. Which means we get to wear workout clothes a lot of the day, which is awesome. Because I used to be a high school English teacher, and I couldn't wear this, and I love it. And we get to help other people do it too. So we have to be pressing play on a program, following the calendar every single day. We have to be drinking Shakeology. We were lucky to have Darren O'Lean in Indianapolis yesterday. Literally, he could have talked for 5 hours. The man is smarter than anyone on the planet. And when he gets done talking, you have an entirely different perspective on answering the objection, oh, Shakeology's too expensive. What? You gotta listen to Darren talk. Because when we truly understand, this is not a protein shake, it's a life-changing drink that we drink every single day. It's the foundation of our business. You don't have time to drink a shake? What? It takes me 30 seconds to go, Done. You don't have time? If my 89-year-old mom can drink her shake every day, you better believe if that postman is late and she's not getting it, I'm hearing about it. Like, I control that. If she can drink that, we can drink it. You have to be drinking a shake every single day and sharing it. Those two pieces right there combined change the way you feel. And when you feel differently, you walk out of your house with an entirely different attitude, and people will say to you, what are you doing? Because I need some of that. You supplement that with personal development, and it should be gushing out your eyeballs, the passion for this business. It should be gushing out your eyeballs, so much so that people are really like, what is going on with you? Because you look amazing. I want what you're doing. You gotta get to the place that everywhere you go, it becomes a story about your business. Everywhere I go, I see a quote, I see a picture, something, and I go, oh, I gotta tell my coaches, this is our business. 8.5 years ago, we couldn't get to the end of the month, couldn't pay our bills, and had to ask my in-laws for a loan. That's gross. In December, we took our 3rd Disney cruise, which is pretty awesome. Couldn't have done that before this business. And on that cruise, we had a chance to do an excursion that was evidently, I didn't read the fine print, open water jet skiing. My husband said, I'm just gonna sit here on the beach. My girls were like, we're gonna do this, it's gonna be awesome. So my oldest, who's 21, drove. She had my 15-year-old. My middle one wanted to drive, she's 18, and then I was on the back. And it was legitimately like white, we were kind of like, and then it was open water, white knuckle. I was so stressed that we were going to die right there on Castaway Key. And Josie and I were like, oh my God, let me go, you go a little bit more. And I go, no, that's too fast, that's too fast. It was so stressful and hard. And I was laughing a little bit because Jenna was driving the other one, and she's white knuckling it, and the 15-year-old's like, wow, this is fun. We're all gonna die out here on the Disney cruise. It was so stressful. And then we got to a little island, and it was beautiful. And we got to see starfish, and it was peaceful. It was easy. And all I could think about was, this is the business. It's really hard. And then you get someplace you go, oh, but look at the view. God, it was worth it. It was worth it. And then we got back on the jet ski, and it was so hard to get back. And then we got back, and I'm like, but look at the view. That's the business. Everything. This business is life. Get to the place where your passion is so evident that everywhere you go, everything you see, you think to yourself, I've got to tell my coaches. This is the business. I've got to tell my coaches. Press play, drink a shake, personal development, and have conversations. There are people out there who are waiting for you. I didn't know I was waiting for Mary, but I was. There are people out there who are waiting for you, who don't want to initiate that. They don't know how. They don't know if they can, but they're waiting for you to have a conversation with them. And as Carl said, it's not a conversation about selling a challenge pack. It's a conversation about how to just help them lead a little healthier life. How can I enhance your life a little bit? They are waiting for you to have that conversation with them. And if you don't, what if no one does? What if no one had ever asked me to teach? My life would be completely different. Someone out there is waiting on you, and if you don't have that conversation with them, what if no one else does? They're waiting for you. The folks that think this business is hard, it's not hard. It's not easy, but it's not hard. You need to press play every day, even when you don't want to. Drink a shake, and you always want to because it's really good. Read or listen to something that will make you a better person, and have conversations. That's what you have to do every day. So if you are getting up in the morning and going, I don't have time to work this business, really? You have 4 things that you really need to do every single day. You can do a workout in 30 minutes, you can drink a shake in 30 seconds, you can listen to something in your car, and you gotta have conversations. So when Jen Guthrie mentioned that she's working the business in an hour, that's probably about right. If that's all you have to work it, you can do it. You have an hour. How much do you want it? You have an hour. And someone out there is waiting for you to make a difference, because that's what we do. We are a health and fitness company. Yes, that's where it starts. But we are so much more than that. There is a synergy that happens when your coaches and your challengers are making progress, and you are the person that's helping them make that progress. And in that intersection right there, that's the magic of Beachbody. That's what nobody else does. That's what nobody else can do. Only you can do that. That little intersection right there, that's magic. I'm a huge Disney fan, and when people say to me, why do you like Disney so much? It's hard for me to articulate, and I always just go, it's just magic. I feel like that about this business. Because if it wasn't, I wouldn't still be here 8.5 years later. It's magic. What we do changes lives. You have a map to do it. Press play, drink a shake, read a book, have conversations. That's your map. The globe, the big view, is that you change lives every day. You affect someone's life every day. Someone did that for you. That's why you're here. It's your turn to do it for them. But we're going to start with pressing play right now. Are you ready to get up and work out? All right, let's do it. Are we moving chairs and tables? Let's move some chairs and